Hello, my name is Daryl Wilson. I'm the CEO and Creative Director here at WilsonAudio, where we manufacture and design loudspeakers that are used all over the world. WilsonAudio is a company that's been in business for about 51 years. It was originally started in a garage in Waukegan, Illinois by a young couple, Dave and Shirley Wilson. And they started off in one garage, and then they went to several other garages before they actually got into a manufacturing facility. So when someone thinks about WilsonAudio, they immediately think of craftsmanship. They think about how our products are made here in Provo, Utah, in the United States of America. One of our key technologies is designing into our loudspeakers time alignment, which means that all of our modules in our loudspeakers are adjustable in the time domain. So as a listener, all the wavefronts of all the drivers hit the listener's ear at the same time. This brings a more real sense to the music. It brings the depth of emotion that you want to get from your recordings. When you think about WilsonAudio, our motto is authentic excellence. And you can't have authentic excellence without excellence in all things. That means everything down to the screw, the solder, the binding posts, the material combinations we use. Everything that we put into our loudspeaker is important. Excellence in all things. The best way of thinking about it is if you look at a symphony orchestra, you have your timpani player, your bass player, your first violinist. They're all important and they all work together. When we're designing products and we're in our research and development process, we look at everything. So we look at our binding posts and we refine the metallurgy and the design of our binding posts. We are refining our driver design. We're looking at various materials. If we can get 0.5% better here in one place, 1% better in this area, 5% better, every one of those things by themselves doesn't make a huge leap in performance. But when you're researching all the different elements of the symphony orchestra, all the different elements of a loudspeaker, and you're making refinements and making them better in all areas, it's incredible the amount of sonic performance you get from one system to the next system. So at any time here at WilsonAudio, we have 5 to 7 R&D experiments, and we're researching and developing different elements of the loudspeaker. It's really exciting, very exciting. In 2018, WilsonAudio bought reliable capacitors. We call it RelCap. So now we've built out an area here at WilsonAudio. We wind our own capacitors, and the wonderful aspect of that is that we're not relying on other capacitor manufacturers to provide capacitors. We get to wind our own capacitors. We get to wind experimental capacitors and listen to exact value with different construction. We get to explore this one little element to a depth that we've never been able to do before. And it's really helped with our crossover designs. If you would have asked me as a teenager, what do you think you'll be excited about when you're an adult? I would have never said capacitors. I would have never said material research. But materials are fascinating. There's not one material that sounds best in all applications. What we found is that there are materials that are specifically excellent in areas of supporting low frequency, so woofer designs and coupling drivers to a material. Now that's a different material than you would put your crossover into. And that's also a different material than, let's say, our V material that is a wonderful isolation material. We research materials and we find areas in a loudspeaker design to put and apply that material for the best sonic characteristics. At the end of the day, all of this is serving the music. We can have the most beautiful speaker and the most technologically advanced speakers, but if it doesn't bring you closer to the music, it's all for naught. It doesn't mean anything. So on top of being scientifically minded and researching and developing the finest loudspeakers and the most technologically advanced loudspeakers in the world, we listen to the music. It's most important to listen to the music to bring the emotion and the technology together. When you can do that, when you're sitting at home and you put your CD in, or you push play in your streaming device, or you lower that needle to listen to your favorite vinyl, if you're not emotionally connecting to that, we failed. So it is essential that we marry the two, the emotion of the music and the technology, to give you the best loudspeaker. I had the honor and the privilege of being born into a home where music was always playing. Experiments were always around me. As my father and my mother were starting this business and developing this business called WilsonAudio, I remember going into the main listening room, and my dad always had experiments going. He was always curious, and he always encouraged me to be curious. I learned at a very early age to be very careful around Dad's equipment, be very careful around amplifiers and tone arms and turntables. I still remember the Krell amplifiers in the listening room. Our very fat cat used to sleep on the amplifier because it'd get really warm. So growing up in this house, I realize it's very different than growing up in, a house without a creative genius, developing loudspeakers and a couple working through the stresses and challenges of entrepreneurship. As a kid, I would sit at the dinner table and we'd be eating mashed potatoes. I'd be listening to my parents talk about dealers around the world and reviews and products, recordings, complex things. At the time, being young, I didn't quite understand all of it, but I'm so grateful that I was surrounded by that. And that's greatly benefited me now in my position as CEO. As I was growing up also, I didn't understand at the time, and I'm very grateful for it. My father and my mother were very wise to put me in every element of WilsonAudio's manufacturing process. They never just handed me money. They handed me opportunity. They gave me the opportunity to go to work. So I have hands-on experience in the manufacturing process, in the inventory process, and the customer service side. They wanted me to understand not just what a loudspeaker can do for your soul, but how to craft and how to make a loudspeaker. And through that training, when my father finally brought me into the research and development side, I understood how the pieces came together. I understood why he was making the decisions he was making. And then I had the ability to contribute worthwhile comments on how enclosures are put together, because I've put together enclosures. I had worthwhile comments and insights on inventory parts and how those pieces all fit together. Customer service gave me really great insights on the feedback from customers and music lovers all over the world. I didn't understand it at the time, and I greatly appreciate it now. The training that I got in the building here at WilsonAudio, building the products with my hands, and then the incredible honor to be able to be the apprentice to the master, to Dave Wilson, and sit beside him and watch him how he would sketch out ideas or work on a crossover, and how he would listen to components and how he would evaluate and how he would talk about sound. Some of my favorite moments when we would talk about sound, and that's a weird thing because people talk about music all the time, but it's the ability to listen to orchestral piece or some complex music composition, and then taking one piece, a click of some wood or a cymbal in the background, or hearing the tension of the bow on the strings of some stringed instrument, and listening only to that one thing as you're making changes in the crossover. You're trying to get to what real music sounds like. At the end of the day, our North Star, the thing that we always go to, is live, unamplified music. It's not our favorite recording. We all have our favorite recordings. But that's not what guides you to the type of product that gets out of the way. When you're listening to your music, you don't want to hear a sonic characteristic from any of your audio gear. So your loudspeaker should not have a signature. It should get out of the way, and when you close your eyes, Ideally, when you're playing Tom Petty is sitting right there in your room. When you're playing music from the Concertgebouw or the Musikverein, you should be in that space. That's our North Star. It is wonderful working with family. It's wonderful. Wilson Audio is a family-owned business. It's still a family-owned business. And when I say family-owned business, it's not like when it started. Dave and Cheryl Wilson came together and founded a company, and their family. And then all of their children. I have 2 older brothers and 1 younger sister. We've all spent time here at Wilson Audio earning money to fund our lifestyles. The concept of family business now is, yes, my last name is on the product, but there are fathers and sons who are working together. There are husbands and wives. There are cousins that drive in, and some people drive 40, 50, and even 60 miles each way to come craft Wilson Audio products. Family values are very important here. We understand if there's a sporting event with a child, or if there's a marriage or anything family related, someone's sick, please take care of your family. Go be with your family. We support that. We realize that family is the foundation of a society. And so if we believe that as a company, we should support that. And so family-owned business isn't just Dave and Cheryl Wilson and Daryl Wilson now as the CEO, and it's only the top family. No, it's everyone here. About 50% of the people that work here and craft Wilson Audio loudspeakers are related to someone else in the building, and I love that.